I want to say something. And this is to CNN, MSNBC, the Young Turks, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Associated Press, Reuters, and every other outlet. When a worker dies, okay, it's very unfortunate. It happens all over America. But when you have multiple people in this warehouse telling journalists that this worker, a 38-year-old, not a nurse, not a doctor, was administering COVID testing, COVID nasal swabs for months to coworkers. When I know, and I haven't released the video because it would be revealing sources, when I've seen video of this COVID testing area that was very small and did not have any barriers, then when the corporation refuses to answer any questions about it, can you imagine for a second? Governor Andrew Cuomo right now is in major doo-doo. 2 women that worked for him and a third that didn't work for him have come out saying he sexually harassed them. He made inappropriate sexual comments to them. A third woman who didn't work for him said he inappropriately touched her. Can you imagine if the governor of New York, with multiple women saying this, if it was just complete silence and the governor refused to comment, his PR people refused to comment, anyone in his administration refused to comment, and he just went on with his life, went on working? Do you think that would fly? Why is it any different for a $1 trillion company? Why is it that Amazon, Status Coup is reputable. We've broken many, many stories. We're not, some garage blogger here. Why is it when journalists are reaching out to a $1 trillion company to simply answer questions about a worker that died, what exactly was she doing? Somebody knows at Amazon what she was doing. There's a paper trail, which Status Coup just broke, that she had complained to your human resources multiple times and been blown off. That's a scandal. Why is the corporate, I know the answer, but we should ask it. Why is the corporate media not covering this story? Donald Trump's not president anymore. The Capitol attack happened over 2 months ago. I mean, you could walk and chew gum at the same time. A lot of things going on with President Biden, coronavirus, but I'm pretty sure there's enough resources for other media outlets to pick up the phone, send an email, and ask Amazon, can you explain what this woman was doing? What was her role? Why are people saying that she was testing coworkers for coronavirus? Do you have other employees involved with coronavirus testing? If so, why? Why don't you have doctors and nurses doing that? Did her sister ask if you can help pay for an autopsy? Why did you not want to help pay for an autopsy? These are basic questions that a journalism school teacher would know to ask. Am I the only one here that smells some smoke? I'd be happy to be wrong. I would be happy if Amazon had anything, any information that would show, she wasn't doing the things that her sister says she was doing, that others I've spoken to say she was doing. If you have that, please provide it. But you're not answering because you don't have that. And you don't want to answer because if this story got picked up by one large national outlet, Amazon's going to have a whole mess of potential liability. And I want to also point out, President Obama, Mr. Hope and Change. Well, President Obama's press secretary, Jay Carney, is, I think, the chief vice president, basically a lobbyist for Amazon. He goes on CNN and MSNBC constantly to spin Amazon's behavior, Amazon's total disregard for their workers, Amazon's unsanitized, unclean, unsafe conditions. This is the former press secretary for the president of the United States is now a chief vice president at Amazon. Where the is he on this? You're okay with this, Jay Carney? Again, I asked Amazon, please tell me, what am I getting wrong here? What facts are wrong? I don't have any preconceived notions. That's why I sent you questions in January and you asked to talk off the record. Yeah, go take some other suckers that you could spin lies to. You're not going to do it here. Status Coup, we don't roll that way. I don't need access to Amazon. I don't need to kiss your ass. This is about more than Pashan Brown, who was a 38-year-old. I don't know what the cause of her death was. This is about do we live in a country, do we live in a democracy, or do we live in the economic Hunger Games where $1 trillion company says, to hell whether these workers live or die, we got to get out. Amazon Prime orders. Jeff Bezos needs a 26th bathroom in his new mansion. It's been reported he has 25 bathrooms in his most recent mansion. Joe Biden talks about restoring the soul of America. This is the soul of America. That's why I call it the United Corporations of America. And Pashan's not the only one, by the way. There was just a story that an Amazon worker, I believe in the, where was it? Out west, I don't know the state, committed suicide while at work. Took him 2 hours to send workers home. Let me repeat that. A worker committed suicide. It took them hours to send workers home. I have had whistleblower after whistleblower after whistleblower message me on Twitter and elsewhere during this pandemic, telling me horror stories about their warehouses, lack of gloves, lack of hand sanitizer, lack of masks, sick workers still working. But every couple of months, Jeff Bezos and his PR machine leaked to the press. He's created another foundation. He's created a pre-K program. Philanthropy to distract and cover up from criminal, negligent, homicidal corporate behavior. And here you have, again, she might very well have not died from coronavirus. I don't know what she died of, but I do know, why is a 38-year-old, untrained, yes, Black woman being asked to play doctor and nurse? Let's say for argument's sake, she wasn't actually administering the test, which I have sources, including her sister, saying she was. Why was she even in the coronavirus testing center? What was she doing there? Because she was in the center. That much I know. If you're testing workers, great. Why are you doing it on premises with no barriers? I tweeted out a video of their testing area weeks ago. It was from this side to that side. It had no barriers. It was literally right next to the break room and right next to where workers were working. No barriers. They said 10 years ago, if you're too big to fail, you're too big to exist. Well, when do we get a point when we say, if you're literally too corrupt to ensure safety of your workers, you shouldn't exist? Sure, accidents happen. Accidents happen at workplaces all over America. Good companies own up to it, admit to it, do what they can to rectify, and move on. But when a company won't answer a journalist any question about this, that's a company that doesn't want to talk about it. That's a company that does not want this out there. So I would ask, Anderson Cooper, keeping them honest, please take the credit. I don't need the credit for breaking this. Take the story, Anderson Cooper. Take the story, Rachel Maddow. Take the story, Cenk Uygur. I mean, the list goes on. It's right there. Christina, and you want to know something? If even one national outlet bigger than Status Coup picked this up, you don't think other workers at this warehouse would come out of the woodwork to talk to you, to tell you, yeah, I saw her. I saw her testing other workers. And by the way, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is also going on there. Let me tell you about retaliation for speaking up. This is not a small story, and this is not just about a warehouse in Virginia, and it's not just about Bashan Brown, although we need to always remember a 38-year-old woman died, and we have no idea why. We have no idea why she was even involved with the company's COVID testing. We do know, based on what we just broke, she had complained multiple times about the lack of cleaning, the lack of a sanitized environment, that sick workers were inside working, and she was basically given a bunch of BS answers. To the devil's advocate who said, well, Jordan, nobody forced her to work there. Yeah. Did you want to pay her bills? Did you want to pay to care for her 12-year-old daughter? It's easy for people that are comfortable to say, you didn't have to work there. It's easy for comfortable people to say, well, why don't you move if you were poisoned in Flint? Unfortunately, this country, most people don't have a choice. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.